All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to round one of NUDC Nationals 2024. Woo! So excited, so excited. Congratulations, everyone, for being here, for making it this far. This has been a long journey. Before I start, just want to make sure everyone is in their correct seating position. Opening government from MUSAMUS MERAUKE. Opening opposition from Islam Riau. Closing government from Trisakti. And closing opposition from International Batam. Okay, so introductions. My name is Elgard. I'm from Universitas Indonesia. I'll be your chair for today. Alongside me is a panelist, Lushanda. Okay, nice. Alivia Andana. Hello. Andi Megawati. And Josephine. Okay, alongside me are the incredible panelists that I've just introduced. Everyone, just want to make sure that everyone knows that this is a live streamed event. So all of your POIs, all of your speeches has to be in the microphone so that it will be broadcasted. It can like be heard in the live stream. That's number one. Number two, there's that. Okay. Number two, as we wait, I want everyone to make sure that they're especially equitable. Please speak of minority groups, speak of like people who, without further ado, we welcome opening government. Here. Ya, boleh. You can time yourself. Ada timer kan ya di atas? Dirimu bawa timer. Ya.
Nggak apa-apa. Okay, good morning, everyone. I would like to start my debate in a count of...
Oh, you don't have cell phones? Then can...
Mic. I'm sorry, Judge, the mic is... Pegang aja nggak? Okay, good morning, everyone. I would like to start my debate in a count of 3, 2, 1. This House believes that the film industry should embrace Sora. Right. As an OJ team, we proudly propose this motion because first thing, we would like to define what is the meaning of the Sora itself. So basically, Sora is a tool of AI that used to program a better prompt text into video, which as already seen on TikTok would be embracing the Sora. Secondly, I would be moving on into my several arguments, which is this Sora is very important because it affects several parts in this film industry. First things that would be affected is the industry film itself. Secondly is the company, and also it will definitely be affecting the actors itself. So now we look, why is it very important that it will affect the industry of the film itself? Because there's gonna be a less of production costs, which is by this less of production costs would help the industry film of not wasting too much cost that is going to be giving output for doing the industry movie. Because by using too many costs, like such as we have to travel to another part of the province or to another like desert like that, something like that, it very needs many costs, right? We have to it's gonna be like very, and there's like how many people that have to be traveling by the plane or by the sea or whatever. It's definitely going to be very many costs that you would be wasting. So by this, you don't have to be too wasting many costs, because there's already a Sora itself. This digital technology would help the company to produce better film, rather than have to be traveling and wasting much money. Secondly, why is it very affecting the company? Be faster production. And lastly, less labor costs, because by using this AI, it will definitely affect the company itself and also the industry film, because we don't really need much people to be paid due to these kind of things, because we can just count like if one person that's gonna be paid like 1,000 or like something, maybe 2,000 and stuff like that. That's how many people that is gonna be paid by the company. And two, we can see that the company is profit, right? So by this kind of Sora, it's very helpful that wouldn't really have to pay a big amount of labor costs. So for the actor themselves, why is it very, very important for them? Because in this kind of situation, we can see that the many of these actors like use of such as like very adegan berbahaya yang it's very risky. It's very risky for the actors themselves, which is it's really gonna give a big disadvantages of these actors. By using this Sora, it's very important because it helps the actors to be less risk than before, but like using CGI or something like that. Yes, so us as an OJ team, we are very proud to propose this. And before that, so the solution is that us as a government team, we should embrace the Sora by providing good technologies for the film industry itself. Thank you. We are the OJ team. We are very proud to propose.
Thank you so much for that speech. To open the case from the opposition, we welcome Leader of Opposition. Here. Friendly reminder, guys, POI is highly encouraged, to ensure engagement.
Okay, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it was very good. For today, we have the motion that this House believes that the film industry should embrace Sora. Well, the government team did say their arguments and supporting this motion, but we from the opposition team think we question this motion, because when we think about it again, is it really important for us right now? Well, first of all, there are some things that I would like to talk about and some rebuttals that I would like to say. Well, but in this case, I would like to remind everyone that Sora is a generative AI that specializes in text to video, and it makes those videos by descriptions and also prompts. Like they make videos or clips from it. So, well, the government team did say that it costs fewer money. So, well, we would like to rebut to that, because, well, first of all, it may reduce some of the money, but AI can't fully visualize the kind of scenes that human has in their own minds. Not only that, but like every humans, especially those artists or the people that make those kind of artwork in the film industry, would have their own human sentimental values, so that sometimes AI couldn't really, well, replicate those kind of feelings. So we believe that it is not exactly, well, it couldn't really get to what the human wants. And if they were to go ahead with what they have from that AI just like that, it would be, well, it would feel like there would be like something missing from it. And yeah, but sometimes even if they were to actually use those AI, so since it would be something like they would have like something missing, and not only that, but AI also, I mean, AI also can't be 100% consistent of their well creations because they are AI, and it would like we would still need more people to well create like edit or alter those scenes so that it could go to what the filmmaker wanted to. So yeah, we would still need well lots of humans for it too, and they would still need to have more alterations. And well, speaking of like those authentications or integrity, we believe that AI itself doesn't really have that much of like an authenticity because well they are AI and they're not human. So well yeah. We believe that the film industry is also an act of making arts, or a form of art expression. So AI can't really do that, and we believe that we don't really support the industry to embrace the AI, especially in this case Sora. And I would also like to talk about the normalizations that this would cause, because by embracing using AI or Sora in this case, it would lead to some kind of normalizations, especially in the people. Like when we are too much used to having those kind of AI things or AI clips and videos, the people would have this kind of normalization to it, and they would feel like, oh hey, maybe I could just make up my own movie, but like they would use those AI itself without actually trying to maybe like making it into a more genuine level of human emotions. And well, we believe that if the film industry started to embrace this using AI in the film industry, people would start to forget the genuine art of process or making art. Not only that, but it's also about the feelings that the artists felt when they are making it. So, well, yeah, is making art is only about money? We believe that the artist would wouldn't be fully satisfied with a work that uses AI just like that. And yeah, well, I also want to talk about the data. AI needs data to make those kind of clips. So sometimes they use other artists, or well, like I said before, they use prompts of the description, but they would need like resources for that or data, and sometimes they use other artists for their reference, and that would means that they would, in a way, take some of those artists' works and alter it so that they could use it just as how the descriptions are that are made it by the people that uses those AI. Not only that, but AI doesn't really have any copyrights because it uses those prompts and also well data from the other people. So yeah, I guess that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. To close the case from Opening Government, we welcome DPM. Here.
I would like to start my speech on the count of 3, 2, 1. Mr. and Madam Speaker, we as the government still stand firm to propose this motion as we have stated about the status quo. Right now, we are living in a modern life, right? We are living with the technology. We are using the technology. Think about this. In the past, we need to use the CGI. We need to travel, let's say, want to have a scene on the desert and so forth. We need to go to the deserts. We need to make more and use more money to travel and so forth. But with this AI, in the past, we already used the thing that was called CGI. CGI, we are using the green screen, we record the actors doing anything, and the green screen, the screen behind the background will be edited and can be used, such as doing on the scenes and the beaches, or maybe on the desert, snow, and so forth. So it will be more efficient and the cost. Because of what? Because we as a human, we are using this technology. Nowadays, we have the Sora, we have the ChatGPT, and this prompting text to the AI generation of the video. Why not using it? Why we are using the technology in the past? Why not using the earliest technology right now? So this is important, all right? So I wanted to rebuttal about the OO that stated about the government doesn't say why was this really important, all right? The importance, the urgency right now, the companies, they need to be profit. They need to use less cost and so forth for their existence of their company and so forth to sustain their, let's say, productivity, money, efficiency, and so forth. So this is the urgency on the stakeholders such as the companies, such as the film industries. They need the profit. They need to be sustained and so forth. And moving on to the second rebuttal about they stating about the AI is not able to do what human able to do. Here's the question on you, Miss OO. What is the human really able to do? Like in the past, we would like to, let's say, make a film about a dragon slaying scene. We would like to make a scene that we are going to an imaginary world, we're able to fly using our wings and so forth. Does human really able to do that? Does human really able to fly with their wings? Of course not. That is why AI is important. AI is able to do what human doesn't able to do. It will be more effective. It will be making more imagination. We can make a better movie. We can make a better creation and so forth. And they are stating, the second stating about this AI doesn't care about the human feelings and so forth. We have to state that clearly that this company, they are private company, not the state company. They doesn't care about the human's feelings. What they care is about the profits. And why do they care about the profits? Because they need to take care of their existence on the industry. They need the profits. They need to cut the cost and so forth. That is why they don't really care about the human feelings and they're just caring about the production and so forth. And why was the AI is urgent that we can make filming a better way? And there is no valid arguments or the valid examples from the opening opposition saying that the AI doesn't care about what human wants. What is the human wanted? They don't state about what is the human wanted from their statement. And they're saying about the human emotion and so forth, of the feelings of the artist. We will state about the artists, the actors. We are really supporting their emotions and their so forth. Because with AI, let's say an actor or stuntman, they need to make a dangerous scene, like crashing on the car, jump from the hill and so forth, or throw into fire and so forth. When they don't need to be use these scenes and we can replace it with AI, we are really more care about the emotion and even safety and even life, Mr. and Madam Speaker. And they're complaining about using the prompt. What is wrong with using prompt? We as the human itself, actors, we read the script about what you need to do, what is your role and so forth. So AI, we're using the tools that calls the script. What's the difference, right? All right, moving on to the arguments that I would like to embrace for my first speaker. They are stating about it will be a less production cost. Because of what? Using green screen, using CGI, it will cost a lot. Because of what? There's a video, there's a data stated about the Marvel company, one of the biggest company in the filming industry. Even a 5-minute green screen CGI, like say, on the interstellar scene on the space and so forth, on the just 5, if I'm not mistaken, only 5 minutes of the space imaginations and so forth, it costs, let's say, around 100 gigabytes for 5 minutes. Think about that. With using this AI, we can be better on the less production cost. Because of that, like CGI, it costs too much spaces, it costs too much money, like what I've been stated on the example, like the movie Interstellar scene. And with AI, it would be more or less space that needed. Second of all, it will be a faster production. Because of what? Like, we are using the AI, it will be so much better. On the CGI, let's say on the past, we are using CGI and so forth, we need to take every scene to scene. If they fail to do this, and they have to retake and so forth, it will be cost tons of time. Because of what? On the consumer of this movie company, there's lots of people that loves the serial enjoyers such as, let's say, the Walking Dead serial from season 1 and until the end. What if we are using the AI that the consumer, they would like be able to, yes, I can watch more serial and so forth with this AI because I can watch more serial in the future. And lastly, we're talking about the less labor cost, all right? So when the labor cost, there will be no labor cost such as no stuntman. It will be more safe for the actor itself, and there will be no harm. With this AI, we're providing a less harm to the actors. And if the opposition would like to rebut on how about the job field and so forth, the company, it is not a state, all right? The company needs to profit for their existence. And with the profits, they have a tax from the country. The tax, it will be provided for the people of the nation itself. So moving on our solution, I think we should embrace this AI, all right? Because why not using the latest technology? In the past, we are using the CGI and so forth. Why right now we are not using this AI? We need to adapt. We need to adapt and following the nations from the other nations' production systems and so forth. And because of that, we are really proud to propose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. To close the case from opening opposition, we welcome the LO here.
Okay, I will start in 3, 2, 1. Let me remind once again about the motion. This House believes that the film industry should embrace Sora. What is Sora? Sora is one of the open AI that made to embrace in this film production, film industry. So first of all, I would like to do a rebuttal from the OG bunch before. The first one, why not using Sora in this great century of technology? And they can get profits, not to give willingly to the civilians, but they give money from the profits to the taxes they paying for. So first of all, it's related with the job seeking, which means there's a lot of people nowadays seeking for job. And going back, let me remind about the degree, the art and film degree. So if the film industry, we embrace the Sora, and we use the Sora every time we're making a film, we're making movies, then what is the degree for? And also, it's related to the feelings itself. There's no feelings if the AI made the movies. And also, the actors. A lot of people have been paying for the actors by the film industry. And if we're using AI, if the film industry using AI, the actors will be reducing about their own revenue, while they were a really, really good actors before. And that is breaking the art in the middle of the film industry. The second one, Although AI can help the work of some jobs in the Hollywood, as mentioned before by the OG bands, but truly relying on it is an antithesis to the whole idea of creative work, altogether, because it defeats the purpose of making movies, which is an art form. What's an art? Sorry?
What is the importance of feeling in the film, and how does using AI exactly extract feelings from the film? As your first speaker mentioned, that AI still requires human touch.
Okay, thank you for the points. As mentioned before, but we have to keep in mind, if you want to make a good art, and the basis, the root of the idea of an art, of any art, movies, drawings, everything, photography, we need feelings to put into the art. We need feelings to touch that. So people, the people that love art, they need to seek the feelings into and from the art itself. Okay, let me continue. And let's see the SAG AFTRA Movies and TV Corporation in America. The screenwriters and actors before were humans, and somehow the corporations want to use AI as the screenwriters. Then voila, the demonstration started by the employees and the actors. Because they know, even it was viral on Twitter, it was viral on social media. Because of what? Because the audience itself, themselves, they do understand we need feelings into the art, and we don't need those AI too much. We still do need the help, but we don't need to embrace the Sora. Second of all, making movies or films by the films industry with Sora or any artificial intelligence and embrace it into the film industry is not a better solution to cover the cost and to get shorter period of time to making the film, to making the movies. And the next one, let's talk about the cost. There's nothing wrong to go spend much money for making the movies if at the end we'll be getting more money multiplied, because a lot of people, a lot of the audience seeking for the good art itself, not making by AI, but making by humans, and also the audience itself seeking, they do have favorite actors, they do have favorite house film production, they don't have favorite AI. Is there any evidence of the AI they love the most of making a film in the middle of the film industry? No, right? And moving on, there are a lot of film house production that are producing the movies without AI, and they refuse to use the AI to make the film, such as Sora, into making the film. So the solution, it is all right to use AI as such as Sora into making the movie, but to embrace it is not a better solution to the art, to the film production. And we believe that it is not such a good idea to embrace it among the film industry. And because of those reasons, we believe we won this debate. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. To open the closing half of the debate, we welcome Member of GOV. Here.
Good morning, everyone. All right, I'll just begin. Hold on. All right. To start off this debate, let's just go back and consider the premise of this motion, right? What we have noticed, especially from opening opposition, what they're doing is half-stancing. They say that we shouldn't embrace, yet we still use it. What is that? Because to use is to embrace, right? And just to get that out of the way, we also believe that to not use a tool, that then you are a fool, right? AI is a very worthy tool and should be embraced within the film industry by the filmmaker. Because why? Because AI recognizes that this rise of new technology has happened before, as mentioned by OG. However, we'll provide a more analysis on that. For example, from traditional paper to like digital drawing, right? That's a technology. And then from prop and green screen to literal CGI. That is also an improvement of technology. So what has all of this technology have in common with Sora? First of all, they were new during their time, right? They were new technologies, and Sora's predecessor have helped film industry to develop and be even better day by day. So why exclude Sora, right? Why not embrace Sora? Because Sora allows incentive for advancement, which will not happen in the opposition side, right? And just for a little bit more setup, we, as the closing government, will give a more tangible example and even contingency plan, and how all the arguments brought by the opening opposition will still be beneficial in our end, and because they are not exclusive to the opposition bench itself, right? First of all, recognize the film industry is a gigantic industry. They consist of the mega star, the mega actor, the producer, but also the underpaid, overworked editor, animator, and also smaller filmmaker. You have to recognize this because OG refuses to acknowledge that the existence, and OO also refuses to acknowledge that small filmmaker exists, and they also need to be protected. They also need to be given an equal fighting chance. How? Sora, which is why we have to embrace it as a filmmaker, right? We have to justify again why Sora should be embraced, but then the opposition bench also have to justify why should we waste this golden opportunity, especially for smaller actors and smaller filmmakers, right? Opposition must justify why smaller filmmaker doesn't deserve a chance in this industry, and why workers and editors in bigger companies must remain slaving away under big executive for just a pence, underpaid, severely underpaid. Because the filming industry has a power imbalance where filmmaker tyrannically, like Disney, Sony, the bigger ones, runs 85% of the industry, right? Although we'll talk about that later on, right? So how many actors have I told you? First of all, big filmmaker, small filmmaker. Big filmmaker entails also the underpaid worker, right? But then there's a third actor here, the consumer, which I will explain later on. So let's characterize again. Mega corporation, they will use Sora one way or another, right? Oh, sorry. Because the essence of mega corporations is that they prioritize cost efficiency and monetary efficiency. This can all be achieved through using Sora. Why? Because as the government the opening have explained, they will use less resources, etc., right? But they can reconsider the employee. Imagine slaving away, animating and editing for hours without the proper appreciation, while Sora can just lift your burden. Why not embrace it? And also, we have to recognize that in status quo and how check and balance will still be better under our houses, because let's take a look in the status quo. In status quo, we are a more liberal society. We have more appreciation in art and value, right? This on its own will act as a check and balance, just like you happen to see on Twitter, right? When someone creates a completely AI-made film, for example, people will call them out, hey, this is all truly AI, right? But still, that will serve as a check and balance because AI will not be abused, but still, we still should have to embrace it. Why? Because it provides a very good means to an end, right? And also, about copyright issue, maybe that's what they want to POI, right? AI is already a lot more regulated than the law about working, because AI has rule about, oh yeah, it has to be this percentage of AI, this percentage of authentic human work. And in that sense, any of the possible argument about, oh, copyright, artists being stolen, things like that, is already really solved by the characteristic of AI itself. Also, what's the trade-off here that the opening government failed to mention, right? And also our main substantive argument. This House is willing to trade off the number of employees in big industry or big filmmaker for the chance for them to be a filmmaker on their own. And also, we will also bring like because it will bring a more inclusive industry and a more advanced one at that, right? So how? Only under our house will small filmmakers have access to the tool that will allow for them to advance in the industry. Why? Note that small filmmakers are more likely to come from a less fortunate background, i.e., they may have come from a third world country, for example, our country, right? Or just like, basically, their parents are not big shots in the industry. That is very possible, right? Because, you know, industry works like, oh, yeah, I know this person, their child is doing this and that. So that is very prevalent. You have to recognize that. Nepotism runs rampant, especially in the film industry. And with that, only a very select few lucky people is able to, for example, grow out of the help of their parents. Meanwhile, this small newbie filmmaker, they don't have the access. They do not have access to, for example, good actors and so on and so forth, because these things cost money. I feel like opening opposition have also said that, actors are costly, right? We do agree that actors are costly, which is why AI can replace these costly actors for smaller filmmaker, right? What we're trying to protect here, the smaller filmmaker, we're trying to give them a fighting chance in this industry, right? On their side of the house, these people will not have the chance to flourish, for example, like it or not, because resources matter. I have explained this again and again. Resources matter, especially in the film industry. Moreover, with the rise of like a more diverse filmmaker, for example, even from the less fortunate background, there will be more, because the resources will be much more accessible with AI, there will be more representation under our side. Why? Because this filmmaker will make things that they're familiar with. Meaning, a more diverse filmmaker equals a more diverse films being made, equals to more representation. So why does this impact matters? Why does representation matters, especially for the consumer, right? More representation matters, especially in the film industry. Why? Because film industry is the media that we will consume, right? We watch movie, film industry, that's what we consume. And what we consume affects us. For example, how the use of POC as Disney princesses have allowed little children to feel like, oh, I can be a princess, just because for ages ago, what's it called? The film industry, especially Disney, has been run by like white actors and so on and so forth. Which is why if we allow these smaller filmmakers from a more diverse industry, then they will bring out more new materials into the film industry. They will bring out more new background, more new type of movies that will represent them. Which is why we're very proud to embrace Sora. Thank you.
Thank you for that speech. To open the case from the closing opposition, we welcome member of OP here.
I'm audible, just to make sure. Okay, I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panels, we want prosperity development of film industry. That's clear. We don't try to be a caveman and neglect any revolutions like AI. But we strongly disagree, or actually this is an exclusive stance that only came from closing oppositions in the first place in this debate. We strongly disagree on the dominations or mandatory of Sora or AI that replace the essence of artists in film screen or in the process in the film filmmaking in the process. So we value the domination of people on putting pure effort in the movie. The only exclusive things that not as government bench don't put it as a parameter for a filmmaker in the status quo to only success only by depending on AI. So here's a few clarifications and rebuttals that I will proceed. Later on, I will tell you why we should win in terms of principle and practical level. So here to my clarifications on OG. Let's see, OG has a bigger case that failed to rebut by OO, especially they don't picturize their stance well. So here's the thing, in terms of adaptations, 2 layers of analysis. Let me tell you that it brought last minute, so not urgent. He doesn't tell me about the urgency on why it is not that urgent to adapt, knowing that in the status quo, the fund or the tax that are allocated to the development of artist prosperity and rights on set, building arts entertainment industry school for generations, and especially in developing countries with more limited resources, they still try to be on track in the entertainment in the industry competitions. Second, so why those matters that I have told you is a worth it trade-off in the first place, knowing that if you rely on AI for simplicity in the industry, it will not be a long term that I will explain or proceed in my case later, and will make more cost to shift this kind of revolutionary that brought by the government side, right? So in the aftermath, there will be more cost because all the development that bring in the status quo will be a waste of investment because of the shift in the revolution in the entertainment industry. It proves to you that OG case is a boomerang from themselves, and we believe that this kind of revolutionary that brought up by them without any exclusive or explicit explanations just hinder the government agenda or the artist movement or the social movement that will brought before. So how about the member case or the closing government case on the worth it trade-off or worth it tool as AI is a worth it tool? 2 explanations again. false in the first place. Because let's say the worst case that this AI is misleading or did not give the best output or failing, then the consumer or the society will shift the blame to the producer or filmmaker for making an upgrade that hinder the job or artist, right? Filmmaker, which means that the check and balance that exists in CG will be under the sentiment of the artist that feel betrayed or the society that less satisfied by the movie. This sentiment will make an harm, which is the less appreciations and accessibility of funding investment or something else, right? Even if I would bite the bullet that in the best case that AI is that perfect, that in the status quo, it's still under development, right? We know that the result is still homogeneity. Later on, the case that brought by the member, it will just make the homogeneity of content because this kind of AI still development without knowing the ensurement on why this AI in the first place will give you the better result or the best for the consumer. So I will tell you on why principle level that brought out by me is the things that should be counted in this debate. First, on how the human rights and the entertainment development. The first layer, on how we know that the entertainment industry that are developing and filled with developed actors that are going through hardship in terms of feeling, skills, and understanding about in the industry. We see that the other three benches has failed to on how the sexual harassment move this kind later, and this kind of sexual harassment movement that will just making the moral responsibility or moral agenda for the people to educate the people on how that is false, right? Later on, what this Gora will affect in the status quo. The emotions of the content will not holistically share to the audience, right? Because less of sense of this kind of sense of relatability in the first place, because knowing that this kind of AI just only by descriptions of the people that are not actually relate for certain people. And how this sense of relatability is important under two reasons. First, entertainment industry can be form of a moral compass and education in the society, and we know that is effective. Second, that the true principle of entertainment industry in how people relate to various expressions. On our, let's see this kind of the benefit that came from closing government. Actors will always strive more to be better in skill in the status quo, knowing that this kind of a burden that was because of social movement on the kind of the burden that for them to bring this kind of moral responsibility from the social movement. While in the status quo on the government bench, they will to be settled for less because they feel outcompeted, and it will just lead to the waste investment of the society or the artists that have just to be retired very, very soon because of this AI, and this is the down of the industry itself. So in terms of that, I will give you this kind of way to prove to you on why. First, we have to characterize the actors. Second, in comparisons of urgency of exclusivity in the industry under 2 points. Third, the comparisons of benefit and harm in the aftermath. Last, the principle of justifications to the crucial actors. Moving on in terms of practical actors. Chairs, knowing that the shift or revolutions of entertainment industry is something we talk in this debate. So to the producer and filmmaker, OG brought you to in terms of profit and less cost of productions. Let me clarify and give you the something to the table. It will not last or only happen in the short term because the people will see that first, if there's AI, if there's an AI that is most likely to be copied or accessible to in the public, therefore it will less value or appreciation to the actors. Second, less relatability that leads to less range of consuming because old soul would more relate and understand the content that relates to their hardship or grievances. Like from the movie that bring up about the colonialism is for the consumer in the old soul generations or old soul consumer for them to relate. For example, like family drama genre, like the grandma movie that exists in the status quo right now. It will be hinder or less platform to represent themselves because especially it will harm the minority itself, knowing that this kind of movement or agenda for the only platform for the society, the only platform for the minority to express themselves, we just hinder because of the AI that will bring you any less relatability. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you for that speech. To close the case from the government side, we welcome Government Whip Hirshir.
Okay, I'm gonna start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, first of all, what industries can Sora help? Our bench believes that Sora, as a media-based AI, can help impact industries such as animation, an industry which has not been talked about by any other bench. First of all, AI, this thing, basically judges understand that media and animation reaches a wide demographic of people. Why? Because animation as a media is inherently something that can be consumed by everyone. Animation covers a lot of bases, not just bases for adults, but also for kids and for a wide demographic of people. Animation has been known to reach people of many cultures, as Natasha have explained, which puts the importance on media that has the impact of importance. Now, first of all, before getting to my extensions, I would like to first just get rebuttals out of the way, starting with the OG. They claim something about lower production costs. We agree with OG, but rather, where does the importance of this benefit lies? Sure, this benefit exists, but this lessen research, but like lessening of research by not going to somewhere to research something just means that you're trading off proper research. Like, for example, to make a movie about culture, you need to properly research, you need to properly know the people about the culture. This proves that they keep undermining the vulnerable actors, which we have been mentioning, as what Natasha says. Second, they mentioned something about dangerous acts. Stunts and CGI, etc. that exists. This is not what Sora can help. Rather, this is already something that is pre-existing, right? This highlights as how the OG completely missed the importance of like AI itself and overlooked the vulnerable actors. Furthermore, they also mention about which actor Sora helps, right? They mention about bigger industries, about industries in animation. Disney does not have the urgency for profit. Disney does not like profit. Pixar does not like profit. They are big animations. We do not have the importance of prioritizing profit for these big companies, right? They're already rich. Their investors are rich. They monopolize markets. There exists no importance. Simply, we believe that the basis of profit for importance on this industry is simply not enough. And later on, they said something about companies don't care about humans' feeling. Exactly, the OG managed to characterize the interest of the big company, but that's it. This sort of characterization exactly proves why they also miss the importance of vulnerable actor. They also mentioned about something like stunt benefit. Again, CGI exists. AI helps to bring advancement to the animation industry, not to that. Now, furthermore, I also would like to address a couple of points that OO make. First of all, they said that AI can visualize and AI lacks human touch, which is something they will contradict later on, by the way. This is just factually wrong. That is exactly what Sora does, right? Sora visualizes. Sora is text to video. Understand that. AI can generate multiple results, meaning they can exceed the creativity inputted from the original prompt, meaning they don't limit creativity, right? Rather, they just visualize what you type into it. Your creativity is limited by yourselves. But even then, Sora actually gives more prompts, meaning that Sora will give more idea, brings a new horizon, even to an artist who's like a person is limited to their own imagination and experiences, meaning an artist can get input further than what they know. They also said something about Sora needing human touch, which how is that a bad thing? That just proves that this does not threaten the employment under the existing animation industry. This proves that human touch still exists anyways, right? This debate is on how self-sufficient AI is. So even if all those flaws exist, Sora still helps, which doesn't answer the debate. Now, again, later, they said something about normalization, right? They claim a couple of harms here. But again, this narrative is based on assumption. So what if it's normalized? Is normalization bad? How will normalization impact? How and why? Nothing is answered under their claim. They also said that art needs human touch. And they mentioned about satisfaction. This is what I mean when they contradict themselves. First they say Sora needs human touch. Then they say art needs human touch. Exactly why Sora exists, though. Also, art can be refined afterwards. Art can be used as reference. That is what Sora can help. Sora's usage isn't limited to like just replacing AIs, to replacing research. That's not what Sora does. Also, they mentioned something about copyright. As Natasha have said, copyright law already exists on AI. Something interesting about AI is that AI cannot be copyrighted, meaning AI is open source, meaning to use AI is to lessen the ability for bigger companies like Disney to capitalize on something that is from other people. In the first place, Disney and other bigger companies already steal from smaller creators. So this law that exists on AI further protects these smaller creators due to it being an open source, right? This also, what Natasha said about the check and balance part is very important. Why? Because under the copyright law, as we know our status quo, the media is very liberal. People care about artists nowadays, right? So now, while AI is still being hot, why do we need to strike now? Why do smaller artists especially need to use AI now? Because they can know, because their input matters most now. Because their input, their discussion can be heard now, especially as the discussion is still hot and it's still very existing. There is no other better time. And they also later mentioned something about how film needs art, film needs feelings. Again, there's no explanation, and it all boils down to the fact that, again, there's still gonna be other people. For example, even if Sora does replace AI in actor-based films, there's still gonna be voice actor. Why? Because Sora only provides video. Sora does not provide audio. There's still gonna be screenwriter involved, color graders, editor, and everyone else that exists on the media. And lastly, to rebut on CO's point, there's a couple of things. Again, the concern of CO focuses on the bigger companies. They fail to mention the importance of this, especially on bigger companies. Let's talk about bigger companies. Like, again, bigger companies don't need more. And they also mentioned about society's dissatisfaction. It is not explained why. Now, it's still in development. Sure, it's not perfect. But so is every tool in development. Animation is choppy in the first place. But this just proves that Sora has the ability to increase and to be better. Right? Again, they also claim the importance of feelings. But at the end of the day, just like the other opening bench, they don't mention anything about like the importance of it and how Sora takes it away. Again, human touch still exists. Right? And just like every other bench, they also failed to mention a couple of things. Now, just to wrap up my discussion a little bit, I would like to point out how media matters in progressiveness. Media gives representation. Sora as an AI takes the boundaries of resources away from a couple of actors, especially those who are vulnerable, especially those who are underrepresented, who are underprivileged. This gives a platform for them to be able to create animation which rivals bigger industry. This creates power for representation. What does representation matters? Because it shifts media. It shifts the generic rhetoric of media being homogenic. This means media can be more diverse now, which is why we stand with Sora, especially on its usage for vulnerable actors. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To close the debate of the first round, we welcome Opposition Whip. Here.
I think it's ludicrous to defend and support filmmakers under government bench, but what they do in exchange is snatching away the only job that these filmmakers do. Exactly because of their efficiency, exactly because of all the benefits that the government bench is supporting for under their side of the house, that's exactly the reasons on why filmmakers will lose their job and over the efficiency that Sora AI provides in the end of the day. This is the end result and the end. This is the end result and the end interest of what is lacking in the whole benches, right? The end goal of Sora and the end goal of industry is to exchange and to create as much as profit as possible through the peak efficiency that the government is offering for under their side of the house. This means the end goal that the government bench is going for under the rest of the house is to eliminate the job of filmmakers and to exchange them with AI. The interest of Sora is in general is to strain as much as data as possible. This is why you embrace AI under your side of the house for these filmmakers to use that AI and that AI to strain that data in order for them to create someday an art that is exactly, they could create exactly the same thing as how filmmakers are doing so under this kind of the house. This is the one day they could replace humans in making arts and entertainments, while all the entertainment industry is been replaced by AI and only by AI solely because under the reasons of the efficiency that government benches propose. CEO's case is simple. We oppose those kind of efficiency. We do not think that efficiency should be defended under this debate because we don't think there's no urgency or any crisis on why then efficiency should be supported. And if anything, it loses out at the vulnerable actor, the filmmakers that is in need in this case. We don't think that is enough or is justified enough in principle to trade off that kind of efficiency over the employment, over the filmmakers and the animators that will lose their job in the end of the day. CO oppose. But going to the case then, why we think that CO is better under OG in the first exchange, right? I think the first thing, this is also related to what CG's case, because CG also talks about efficiency. Why we think that efficiency, even if playing at their case, we don't think that they could champion only under that one idea of efficiency. So first of all, I think we have to compare, right? In the manufacturing, sure, you need manufacture to create as much as resources as possible, as fast as possible, but we do not understand why efficiency stands in entertainment entertainment industry when you do not have that crisis, you do not have that urgency to create as much as animation as possible, to make as much as movies as possible, right? So even if yes, it is expensive, but we don't think why it's in crisis in need, why we are in need of making as much as movies as possible in the faster pace, and also when in status quo, in status quo, a lot of good films still exist in status quo anyway, right? So under 3 reasons why we don't think that OG's and CG's case could champion over COs. First of all, I think training data. If we want to talk about efficiency in Sora AI, what in comparison we could offer in CO, right? We could heavily going to employ more people under us of the house instead of using AI. Why this is likely? Because if you want to talk about efficiency, instead of you using AI under CO will simply just employ more people, more animators, or more filmmakers to involve in the process of making films. Right? So I think it affects the survivability, depend highly on for these people who depend highly on their job. When for animators, for example, or filmmakers could be invited to get to create the films instead of using the Sora AI. But second of all, I think extending the impact of emotions that my member have told you before, I think our status quo is doing fine, right? Even without the Sora AI, even without the extensive uses and the embracement of Sora AI, we still have good films. We still have like Christopher Nolan's movies, for example, like Oppenheimer, for example, or Interstellar, without the usage of AI, even if it's expensive, even if it takes a long of time, we could trade that off. We don't think that is possible. We don't think that is really that in crisis for us to exchange that in over to the harm that we will expand later on the rest of the house. But lastly, I think as a general viewer, like for me who does not really understand about all the editings and the features that could be provided by movies, I don't think even if you use AI or even you use animations, I don't think that it does affect me relatively to the quality of the movies. Like I still see good films in the status quo. I still see and I still enjoy the animations even without the existence of Sora AI. So I don't think under that reasons efficiency could be championed under their set. But second of all, if anything, exactly because of this efficiency, I think this is what we oppose, right? When labor or human resources are no longer needed and they could easily be replaced by AI. This is what burdened OG's and CO case, because first of all, they trade off the profit over the welfare of these filmmakers. For example, when the end goal of Sora AI is to replace the overall employments of the filmmakers, then they trade off that kind of profit, they trade off that kind of efficiency over the welfare of these filmmakers. But second of all, when in entertainment industry, most of the profits rarely given to the actual actors that involved directly in making the films, that means you are taking off their bargaining position as filmmakers, right? Because now industries have the Sora AI, they have the items and the tools to take to take your jobs as a filmmakers. Then they no longer exclusively needed you there as a filmmakers, because they can do it by using AI. They can generate it by using AI. So when you do not need this kind of people, the likelihood to capitalize the worker more under government bench become much more likely, because you could simply just use Sora AI instead of hearing your filmmakers protests, for example, or you could capitalize that kind of things more because you do no longer have bargaining position. But in comparison then, why we press down this impact, right? By not embracing, we do not make it mandatory for filmmakers to use the AI. So yes, we admit that the AI could strain data elsewhere, because AI is development could not be prevented, could not be prevented in any kinds, but the gravity of harm could significantly be reduced. This means the likelihood of filmmakers getting replaced is slowed down in the pace, for example, when yes, at some point of time, filmmakers will eventually get replaced, but we slow the time down by not embracing the usage of AI. So the straining of data processes could be slowed down under us of the house. The idea of doing the Sora AI is dangerous because it changes. Governance bench burden is heavy because they are trading off efficiency over the likelihood of these people that we care on this case. But going to the CG's case then, why we think like the exclusive benefits that it brought about small filmmakers cannot be championed under the house under this reason. When film industries need actors anyways, like, and the idea of efficiency came in when industries extract or employ as much of filmmakers as possible, then the likelihood of small filmmakers that could probably get involved in our side of the house could possibly exist. Like, unlike the resources of the small filmmakers that is limited, I think if they go through and they join on the big companies to create the films, the animations, that's also going to take on the benefits. That's why we brought to oppose.
All right, thank you so much, Opposition Whip, and thank you everyone for finishing the first round of NUDC Nationals. Woo! Okay, so this is an open round, so decision will come after we deliberate. Before you all shake hands and leave, could you please, like everyone, just like come up here and fill in the ballot here, your name. Make sure that it's based on the speaking order. Like just come and write it, so it'll be faster. Judges, please deliberate on your own and come up to me with the decision after they leave. Pak, live streamnya dimatiin aja nggak apa-apa. Oke, terima kasih Pak.